All right, let's call to order the meeting. It is Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads for a moment of silence. Amen.
Okay, Mr. Barnes,
Present.
Mr. Hartzell,
Here.
Mr. Levchuk,
Here.
Mr. Madden,
Here.
Mr. Pulcini,
Here.
Mr. Winslow, Mr. Crowley.
Here. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given pursuant to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. With that, a couple of procedural things here. On behalf of City Council and the Mayor's Office, we have a proclamation declaring Epilepsy Month, so I'd like to enter that into the record. And then, Mr. Delgado, do you want to come forward?
Council President, Mayor, Council, I appreciate the honor because I truly believe that what I'm recognizing here today is truly special. The Ocean City Police Department is one of only 4 police departments in the entire state of New Jersey that made it through 6 reaccreditation cycles. So I typically share the math with the council, but this one was very difficult. So basically, they fall into an elite group of less than 1.25%. So it's really significant what they have accomplished. What it means is that this is all your staff knows, the officers know. It's just following good practices, or best practices at the state and national level. So if you indulge me for 2 minutes, I'd like to share with you the significance of the achievement. So the Ocean City Police Department has once again made a commitment to adhering to best practices at the state and national level in a highly regarded statewide law enforcement accreditation program. This is Ocean City Police Department's 7th cycle to our accreditation process since 2006. That's nearly 2 decades of commitment to excellence in policing and following best practices. It is simply part of their culture as they deliver police services to the community and continue to enjoy their public trust. It's an elite group of law enforcement agencies, as I mentioned before, in the state of less than 1.25%. So this program, administered to the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, has helped to transparently demonstrate the professionalism, transparency, and preparedness of state's law enforcement agencies in the state's public safety system. Now, accreditation status represents a significant professional achievement. Not that I'm telling you or your police department anything new, but this prestigious reaccredited status demonstrates Chief William Campbell's firm commitment to state and national standards and the continued expectations for quality, professional, and ethical policing. Now, after that rigorous process, for which they have been through several times, but they have to prove 100% compliance. And by the way, it's always remarkable when we come here to do the on-site because there's really no expectation of failure or lack of compliance to any of our standards in the state of New Jersey. So I'd like to perch just some of what the assessor said during that visit. Under Chief Campbell's leadership, a high level of competence, leadership, and professionalism is evident within the agency. Where the future issues and challenges involve seasonal staffing, as we know, new police substation, rapid technology advancement, or expanding police communications, this agency will continue to move forward with a history and commitment to following best practices, a preparedness plan, and a verification of excellence as an accredited agency. So it is the opinion of the assessment team that the Ocean City Police Department excels as a highly professional and committed agency, which exemplifies all of the tenets of law enforcement accreditation at the state and national level. And I truly say, and I mean it, it's indeed my honor here tonight to represent the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and New Jersey Law Accreditation Commission and congratulate Chief William Campbell, Accreditation Manager Captain Patrick Walsh, the member of the Ocean City Police Department, the Council President, the Mayor, and those citizens that they so proudly serve for achieving their 6th reaccreditation, joining an exclusive group of law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey that have made this long-term commitment to excellence in policing. So to all, indeed, congratulations.
Nice job. Thank you. Thank you.
Friday night, the thing they had at church on Friday night with Spanish people?
Yeah, absolutely. So, members of council, Mayor, Mrs. McCrossin, good evening. It's an honor to be here. As Mr. Delgado said, this is our seventh reaccreditation cycle. We were accredited under Chief Blevin in 2006. And before I go any further, I want to give all my predecessors their fair due, because if it wasn't for Chief Blevin, followed by Chief Callahan and then Chief Prettyman, who were all equally dedicated each and every cycle to the accreditation process, I certainly wouldn't be standing here taking credit for a very small percentage of New Jersey law enforcement agencies that have been going through an accreditation cycle for as long as we have. 1.2%. That's Mr. Delgado just shared that with me before we came over here. I didn't realize we were in such rarefied air, but so be it. And I'm proud that all the men and women. Well, I don't have any of my female officers here, but some of the officers that you see behind me, Captain Walsh couldn't be here. He served as our accreditation manager this cycle. He had a family obligation, but behind me here, Deputy Chief Clint Helfenstein, Captain John Mazuka, Lieutenant Pete Cardis. I've got Ryan Lutz as one of my patrol officers, but those gentlemen were very instrumental in helping get us to the point where we were ready for an evaluation and a review by the accreditation managers that came on site on our agency. And I'm proud to say too, there was no flaws. There was everything that we did, that we've been doing was 100%. The mayor likes to talk about policies and procedures. Here's the proof in the pudding, Mayor. Policies and procedures to the top-notch level. So again, I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank on behalf of my entire staff. I graciously and honorably accept this award, and I thank you all.
Thanks, Chief. All right. It's a great way to start a meeting. Jay?
Yeah, real quick, and Billy, I know you're, on Friday night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because you'll do it more justice.
If you want me, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mayor, you did ask me to say a few words on that. So this past Friday night, we had a Hispanic outreach. One of my officers, who's a bilingual officer, this program started several years ago with Sergeant Brendan Geen, who's coming up for retirement at the end of this year. So he essentially passed the torch to one of my bilingual officers, Thomas Mendez Ocampo, and I think we had about 35 people that were there, and asking just a bevy of questions in which they felt comfortable speaking to a Spanish-speaking officer. I know the mayor was there. He reached out to me afterwards and said there was nothing but positivity in the room, which we want everybody, with everything that's going on a national level. We felt certainly that this meeting was imperative to reassure the Spanish population in Ocean City that certainly that they have a safe place here, they have a safe haven to be comfortable, to live their lives without fear of the Ocean City Police Department coming and trying to place them in custody and further deportation proceedings. So I think that went very well, and like I said, I think they felt very comfortable with the officer. With Officer Mendez Ocampo, who's taken over the program. So it's going to be, up to him now to continue to facilitate these meetings, probably like on a quarterly basis. So like I said, it was very well received by our Hispanic community, and I look forward to, continued progress in that regard.
Thanks, Bill.
All right.
Thank you.
It was, between the community policing, and I want to thank Officer Geen. Please, tell him they all did such a great job. And when you don't understand what people are saying in language and all that kind of stuff, and the way all your guys handled it, I tell you, it was amazing. And the way they interacted, it was just nice. And I was wondering how they would act, if they would be scared and all that kind of stuff. But it was nice that whatever the police department was doing, they felt comfortable. And they communicated. They had some questions. You know, it was hard to understand that the father next to me could speak Spanish too. And I kept asking, what is he saying? Just told me to be quiet. So
Gotcha. You were just there for the pizza. You got
it was
But
the wrong no.
Yeah, no, it's like, as I said, you know, our commitment is to, you know, anybody and everybody,
Yes.
whether you live here, whether you come to visit here, to, you know, provide a safe and sterile environment for everybody, and you know, we strive to do that to the best of our ability. And again, I'm up here as the mouthpiece, as the chief. I sit in an office. If it wasn't for the men and women that are, you know, that you see out driving around, whether it's you know, my traffic unit, my patrol officers, my community policing officers, they're the boots on the ground that get it done. So, you know, for you up here thanking me or, you know, praising me, it's really, you know, the men and women that you know, work under me that deserve all the credit, because they, you know, they make our department look good. You know, we're all, you know, equal as far as responsibility, and, you know, if somebody's not doing their job, or, you know, we're down, we don't have, you know, adequate manpower, you know, then you know, the polished product that you see, you know, that you're, you know, commending me for now can't happen. So, again, I thank you all for your support, your continued support, and just know that, you know, we'll strive to be the best version of ourselves, you know, each and every day that we go to work. So, thank you.
We know
Thank you.
that keeps you in order. Go ahead. You guys want to say anything, or?
No, it's your
Okay,
time.
okay. Again, I want to thank Chief Campbell. Thanks, guys. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Chief.
it. You guys deserve it. We are lucky to have one of the best departments around. We have a couple ordinances on tonight's agenda, and Dottie's here, and Dottie and George will explain them. We also have a number of resolutions that we are recommending. We'd like to continue our summer jitney service, and we're getting ready to go out to bid. This has been a great service for our summer guests, and it's one way to help with our parking. We're asking you to approve a contract for construction of a new hangar at the municipal airport. This will provide a new revenue stream in hangar rentals and an opportunity to try out more pilots. 95% of the cost will be provided by a grant. Our share will only be 5%. We're seeking approval to continue our Bayside maintenance dredging. This winter's contract will include South Harbor, Venetian Bayou, Carnival Bayou, the 14th Street Outfall, and the Bayside Center. Another contract will redesign our parking lots out back to City Hall, include all the new properties we have. When it's done, the downtown will have more than 60 spots that were not there a couple years ago. The city team is putting together a final parking statistics from this summer, and we'll be able to provide this information to City Council and the public soon. I know, Jody, you emailed us and we're interested in that. We're continuing to work to improve the reliability of our trash and recycling pickup. We've created a new response team that will travel our trash and recyclable routes on pickup days. They will monitor our contractor, notify residents of improper placed trash and recycling, and try to help with anything that was missed. I'll keep you updated on the success of this new program. Work to clear the former car dealership at 16th Street continues to make good progress. The area for expanded library parking has been milled and elevated. Concrete is being poured for sidewalks and for repaved parking next to the Palmer Field. The rest of the block will be cleared and landscaped. Work remains on schedule to be completed by the end of the year. Installation of the sod will be weather dependent. The library plans to use the open space for programs next summer. Earlier today, the Senior Center had their Friendsgiving celebration. I know everyone there is grateful for all the friendships and the community spirit that has been created in the past year. And I left everybody one of these little happy place things that all the seniors got today. They enjoyed it. Beach tags for next summer arrived today. They'll go on sale starting Saturday. Everybody can pick them up at the City Hall Welcome Center, doing earlier than the bird on Saturday, or online on the City Hall website. You're all invited to our annual Community Thanksgiving service on Tuesday. This year it'll be 12 p.m. at St. Francis Cabrini Church at 2nd and Atlantic. Hope everybody can make it. It's always a great event. Christmas in the downtown, our Miracle on Asbury Avenue, is on the schedule for next Friday. As always, our fire department will help Santa get down from the roof and light the Christmas tree. This year, we're going to add something new. The tree laying will be followed by a holiday drone light show that everybody will be able to see looking up from Asbury Avenue towards 6th Street. So they're going to set up down by the fire department and go up because we need a safe spot above them, or below them, excuse me. It's great to see so many people from our community at this event, and it'll be a cool new feature. Santa's mailbox is placed across the street, so if you guys have all been good, you can put a little letter in there. A few of us up here probably should not. Our Ocean City Food Cupboard is holding its Santa Food Drive from November 28th to 30th. So during the Miracle on Asbury Avenue celebration on Black Friday, they will challenge the community to fill an Ocean City Beach Patrol lifeguard stand with donations. Please bring your non-perishable food items to help them meet their goal. And donations will be accepted inside City Hall Welcome Center on the following Saturday and Sunday. And I would like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and safe trips if you go away. So,
All right. Thank you, Jay.
you.
Appreciate it. With that, we will move into citizen comment. The first citizen comment is on items on the agenda only. And just as a reminder, the way the meeting works, all your comments will be addressed to me. So with that, Mrs. Khan?
This is kind of follow your agenda for this, for the street sidewalks and sanitation. We had problems during the build of two buildings next to us where the sidewalk was constantly blocked. We have called the police. They have been horrific. They come out, they go, they'll move eventually. Nobody can ride a bike. Anybody that's handicapped can't walk. People who have disabilities cannot have access. It is also a street where children come home from school. You call the police, they throw it under the carpet. It is not addressed. They could care less. They don't even document it. It has been a horrific experience that you call the police and they don't do anything. They come out and they talk to them. They refuse to move their vehicle and they go, oh, come on, they're just, what about the school kids? What about the lady that just had her hip done that goes around the block 3 times a day? Or the walker that can't go because the sidewalk's blocked? And the police laugh and come out and they don't ticket them. They don't move their vehicles up to clear the sidewalk. And it was an ongoing issue for 11 months. And since it's part of your agenda, streets and sidewalks. And also, I don't know, covered underneath that is also that no one that has a commercial license, the police seem to ticket. We were told that they would get a warning, they would note the account, and if they were called out again, any other contractors parking the wrong way and you're crossing, because it's one way each way, you're actually causing a problem. It's a ticketable offense. It's a point offense because you were going against traffic into oncoming traffic. During the summer, tourists get ticketed for it, but I guess builders get a free pass on that too. The police do absolutely nothing. They don't care. They come out. The bilingual guy came out, spoke to people that come. Half of the contractors don't speak English, don't communicate, don't want to talk to people that are white that speak English, because when you speak Spanish to them, they also don't communicate. They also don't understand Google Translate, and they also don't seem to understand the bilingual officer when he comes out, because they leave and nothing is done. So that is it for that ordinance, I guess. It
Okay,
falls under
thank you.
that part of the agenda.
Thank you.
It's very disappointing, the police force. You call them and they don't do anything. I would sooner die than have them come along with the ambulance and the fire company.
All right, Mr. Robert Levins?
Non-agenda.
Okay, we'll get to you eventually. Mr. DeCoursey?
Non-agenda.
Nelson?
Hi, I'm Dice Common Nelson, Central Avenue, regarding the issue of off-season versus the relaxation of the legal letter of the law for sidewalks and parking, et cetera, that the last woman spoke about. The city claims discretion. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we'll move into reports from City Council. Jody? Keith?
Yeah, actually, I do. I'm gonna do a little handout here. Take some of these, and just keep passing, I guess, till we get them.
How many do?
Everybody?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, everybody's included.
Terry?
You got one?
Yeah, of course. Let's see here. How many more I gotta go?
I get you. This one.
This you? And I got you? Okay. Okay, so this is, I did some research. I'm not looking to vote on this or bring it to vote. It's just that I thought, well, in the time period that the planning board was here, September 11th, this is well past the 60 days. I understand they're gonna have a subcommittee meeting Monday, which I'll be glad to attend. But I just wanted to take a look at just some research I did. This doesn't mean whether anybody should be for or against, just stuff to look at as we move forward and trying to get some kind of relief from Ward 2 on parking. The first thing I did is a breakdown by bedrooms because I thought I heard Mr. Loper say that if we looked at 4-bedroom units, there'd be like 840 of them. He may not have said that. I thought that's what he said. So all this information I got from the city. Now, I did break it down myself, so, you know, I'm not the best mathematician or anything like that, but I think I'm pretty accurate in what I've put here. So when you look at my ward, there's 3,567 actual total residential units. And they break down as follows: 4 bedrooms, 588, 5 bedrooms, 260, 6 bedrooms, 116, 7 bedrooms, 42, and 8 bedrooms and above 59. And you know that I'm looking at this in a way that you're only required to have 3 parking spots, and I just feel that there's certain amounts of bedrooms that's related back to the parking spots. So originally, I was going to look at 4 bedrooms, and then when I heard that 840 number, I said, well, maybe I'll look at 5. So if I do a parking change on units from 5 to 8 bedrooms, it'd be 521 units, or 14.6 of the units in my ward. If I decided to move back to the 4-bedroom, between 4 and 8 bedrooms and above, there'd be 1109 units, or 31%. That could possibly be affected. We talked about basically development working compared to total properties and whether or not they become non-conforming, and this was a huge issue for me, so I wanted to look into that. So what I did is over the last 10 years, we had a total applications of 210 applications. Now, I didn't break those down as to how many were approved, what they were approved for, or if they would have made a property, non-compliant. I did not do that. So what I did was I looked at the worst case scenario. Now, granted, number one, I'm only asking for this parking to be relief on new residential construction, but I thought since this could possibly make some of these units non-conforming, I thought, well, let's just take a look at the worst possible scenario. So out of 4,113 total units, over approximately 10 years, it was 210 applications. So if all those were affected, became non-conforming, which they would not. What that number is, I don't know, but if I had to, I would dig in and get the exact number. But I thought 5.88% over 10 years, if they were non-conforming, was a low number. And over a period of an annual rate would only be 0.558 units. Now, they shouldn't be non-conforming anyways because we're looking for this new development only. But in case people were worried about that might come, I wanted to make sure that I addressed the issue to say, hey, this is not a ton of properties, it's a small amount of properties, probably not gonna happen anyways, and then the amount that I'm saying is definitely not accurate. It's the highest number could possibly be. So then what I wanted to do is look at lot size, because I think, and it's very, very difficult to do this, and everybody in this city gave me a ton of information. It was well done, but to figure this all out and calculate this all out is very, very difficult to do. So what I did is I tried to do some size ranges by square footage to kind of get a balance between what I'm trying to do with the ratio of bedrooms to parking and how that relates to bedrooms as well as the lot size. So what I found out is if you look at lot size from 360 to 800 square feet, that would be a lot of condominiums and smaller units. It would also be units that are just small. We have all kinds of different lots here. This is it's so difficult. And Frank Donato really went out of his way with the tax map to try to get this somewhat close. But I'm telling you, we have so many different type of lots that I just have to make a broad brush on what I think it is, and I think I'm pretty close. So that actually represents about 45 to 60% of those lot sizes, which really wouldn't be affected by my parking change. Then when you move to the next level, which is 2250 to 2700, and again, it's a tight one, but a lot of lots kind of fall in that area. These would be substandard or smaller lots, some single family or multifamily properties that survived as non-conforming. Yes, we have non-conforming lots everywhere in the second ward, so me adding another five, just shy of 6% is negligible. We have a ton of non-conforming. I wanted to count those, I would still be out there counting. So, and again, it's just how the town developed. They built on all kinds of different lot sizes. I mean, you have 50 by 75s, it will drive you crazy. So this is why I went kind of with a broad thing here. So then we get to the meat of the bone. The third category is 3,000 square foot lots to 5,250. And they're generally standard full lots, 30 wides, 40 wides, and 50 wides. Then the next category was 3,700 to 5,800. There is some overlap there, but it captures larger conforming lots. So on the number 2 section, it's 5 to 8% or under the category of number 2. And number 3, 10 to 15%. And number 4 was the overlap category, is 10 to 15%. And again, it's vast, so I had to make some decisions on how to do that. You should have seen the chart, you know, and Frank and Joe Elliott, they made it as simple as they could, because man, is it complicated. So, and then you have greater than 18,000 square feet, which is 1%. There are larger tracts of commercial properties, some with residential units. So what does this all mean? Well, what this means is, when I looked at 4 bedrooms and up as a change, okay, then I looked at category 2, 3, and 4, I found out that the ranges, because remember the range is 5 to 8, 10 to 15, 10 to 15, and 1. The range is 26 to 38%. Remember when I talked about affecting from 4 to 8 bedrooms, that came out to 31%. So I think I'm pretty darn accurate by being able to piece together 30 wide lots, 40 wide lots, 50 wide lots, 1 by bedrooms, which had it at 1,109 units at 31%. And if you're going by the mean average of the lot size, it's 32%. So I think I'm pretty accurate in this information, and I wanted to bring this forward, not to make a decision tonight or debate or anything, just say this is the research that I got from the information I was given to by the city. The next is a picture. It's the famous picture I've shown. I'm not going to show it here today. Ownership has changed. But what this is, this particular picture basically takes a lot that is 43.5 by 56, non-alley access. So this is like the most difficult type of product to get parking in, right? Because most lots, a lot of lots are at least 100 deep. This is 56 deep, 56, and only 43 wide. In this picture, it shows that you can park 4 cars. Why am I saying this? Because I wanted people to know the worst possible situation, a 4-bedroom home, you can park 4 cars. That's why. So I picked the worst possible situation.
A single family?
Yes, that's a single family, right. So that, I'm sorry, I should have said that. So when you look at these parking requirements of 4 bedrooms up to 8 bedrooms, and say you want 1 parking spot for each bedroom, I have stacks and stacks of drawings here. I won't share them, but I have a whole pile. And when it comes to single family homes, this is extremely easy to do. On a 40 wide, you generally have 2 garages, and you definitely have 2 places behind to park. So when it comes to the single family homes, this is not a problem. Not one of these, I've got scads and scads and scads of drawings that will show you that at any one of these, if you have a 5-bedroom house, you can get 5 parking spots without a problem. So that was one of the things I wanted to take a look at. Now here's where the problem does come in. The problem comes in when you get to duplexes, because obviously if you have 4 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms, you would want 8 parking spots. If I go back to 4 bedrooms, and we'll go to the next picture, if I go back to 4 bedrooms, it would be impossible for me to get 8 parking spots. So we have a lot of 40 wide lots in town, and then we have a lot of 40 4-bedroom homes at 588. So, and again, those 30s and 40s, because it's not 50s and 60s, they probably represent a high total of the residential units, 25% at least, maybe a little bit more. So what I did was I looked at what is the maximum amount of parking that I could get on a 4-4, right? So 2 condominiums, 4 bedrooms each. You can only get 2 inside, 1 each side, because then you have the steps coming down, and typically, and if you want to jump in and explain a little bit, because you own a couple of them, the steps have to be inside, so just past the garage, you have the steps to access both units, and then you generally have a storage area. So that's good, right? That's good. So you have storage, and that, when you have a nice storage area, we're already taking care of that, then people are more likely to use their garage, because garages, if you only have 1 garage and you have stuff, I can see where it's kind of hard, right? But to have a storage area thrown in, that makes sense. So some of the things that we're doing architecturally are weighing into this. But what you're able to do in the back, and the people up here can see it, is that you're able to get cars across, and you're able to get, on a 40, you're able to get 4 cars across. So the total on 2 4-bedroom units would be 6 would be the total. I don't think you could do more than that. So in my mind, I would still like to make sure that all single-family homes, 4 bedrooms, have 4 parking spots, because that's extremely doable. I would say that if I was going to make a recommendation, I'm not here to do that tonight, I'm just giving this information out so people have it. I would say then, if you have a 4 and a 4, if you could produce 6, and this is all under current zoning, this is no change in the zoning, right? So you could give 6 parking spots. If you could, then we should. So we should say that, then you need to do that, right? Now, when you start to go up to 50s, 60s, and on, so on a 50, you would be able to, basically, if you have 2 4s on a 50, you'd get 5 spots in the back and 3 garages. That's 8. So now, when you're in a 50 with 2 4s, you've nailed it. You've got 8 parking spots, right? And it's important because not everybody comes down with the same car. And in peak season, this is about peak season. So like if you go to a mall, you go to Home Depot, most of the time, most of the lot is empty. But the time it's full is at Christmas. So people plan their parking by the most that they're going to have. Not the average they're going to have, but the most they're going to have. So that happens in those 2 months. So 2 4s and a 50 is golden. We're off to the races. So then if you look at a 60 wide, that's even better because you could have 4 garage units and 6 in the back. 6 and 4, 10. You could have 2 5s, and you have the parking for 10 bedrooms. So there's a way to do this inside our existing zoning, and the conundrum was the 4-bedroom. But I say, you know what? If it's not possible, then you try to do the next closest thing that is possible. And just to finish up, I took a look at our last master plan, and on your page number 6, it says that owners and guests of resident units often require more parking as provided or required by ordinance. Increased parking requirements based on the size of the dwelling or bedroom count. They're recommending this. So I'm not out of left field here. Our last master plan actually recommends this. What I'm trying to do is get a common sense way to get there. And I appreciate the extra parking that you've bought, but the beauty of this is this extra parking is free. So every time we build a new place and we add parking, and we should always deem to add as much parking as we can, and this does it without violating any current ordinances that I know of. Might be altering a little bit. If it did, I would say do it. But this is the type of research that I went through because I thought there was a lot of questions as to why would I want to do this, how would I want to do this, and this gives me an initial roadmap to you, the council, and anybody else that wants to look at this. And I'm just not holding the pictures up because people own the properties. The one he owns, so I could hold it up, I guess, but I don't need to.
You may as well have held it up at this point.
Yeah. Well, the number's on it there anyway, so, yeah. But it's legal, we can leave it though. So that's just it in a nutshell, and that's all I wanted to get across, is just some general research, so everybody has something to take a look at.
All right, thanks, Keith.
You're welcome.
Sean?
Nothing.
Tony?
Nothing.
Peter? I'm good as well. We'll move in. Can I get a motion to adopt the regular city council minutes of Thursday, October 23rd?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Levchuk?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes. Okay, we have a bond note announcement. Who's doing that?
Oh, no,
Oh, let's do, goes off, okay?
Yeah.
All right, we'll move into our ordinances. We have two ordinances tonight. First ordinance is 25-14. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2514 on first reading?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Levchuk?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 2514, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 17, Streets, Sidewalks, and Sanitation, and Chapter 25, Zoning and Land Development of the revised general ordinances of the City of Ocean City as they pertain to curb openings and parking.
Dottie?
I got
Where's
this one.
George?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Good evening. Currently, our ordinance does not allow curb cuts for driveway access if you have alley access. And what we want to do, we have situations in town where there are certain existing buildings where they have alley access, but the way they're built, they don't have a place to park the car. They don't have access for a vehicle. These are older buildings. And what this ordinance does, by amending Chapter 17 and Chapter 25, you have to go into certain sections of the ordinance. It allows, in these specific situations, a person to apply for a curb cut in their front or side yard to provide for parking for a vehicle where they have alley, they're on an alley, but they don't have the ability to park a vehicle. And this ordinance, we went in and we had our zoning officer look at it, and it amends one section in Chapter 17, three sections in Chapter 25 that specifically have this requirement that you can't cut the curb unless you don't have alley access, to address this specific situation. So that's the intent of this ordinance. So,
All right, thank you, George. Comments, city council, Jody?
Is that for existing structures only? That
Yes.
Gets, okay, so
Yes.
it doesn't apply to new construction?
no.
Good. Keith?
George explained it to me in depth today. It's a little hard, so I walked over and looked at it, and it even made a little bit more sense. But I mean, there was an issue in one neighborhood where a curb cut was cut, and it shouldn't have been cut, and we were gonna take care of that on top of that. So some people thought there was a relationship from that to that, and there wasn't, and it's gonna be taken care of. So I have confidence in George's explanation, as well as taking care of that one situation, that I feel comfortable I can move on.
Great. Sean?
I'm good with it.
Tony?
I'm good.
Peter?
No questions.
All right, no questions. With that being said, can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2514 on first reading and introduction?
Barnes?
Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Levchuk?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes. Second reading and public hearing will be held on Thursday, January 8th at 6 p.m. and will be published according to law. Second ordinance tonight is 25-14. Can I have a motion to introduce 2514 on first reading?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Levchuk?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Okay. An ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan and amending the zoning map accordingly.
Good evening, council. This is the ordinance which takes the Sea Spray property to the next step in the redevelopment of that parcel. On October 9th, City Council declared that property to be an area in need of rehabilitation. So the next step is what should be built there. There's attached to this ordinance a redevelopment plan that is a proposal as to what could be built there. Not the particular building, but the zoning requirements for what could be built there. At the end of this packet of papers is an elevation showing you the vision of the contract purchaser for this property. That's what they would like to build there. This is a very small zoning chart, but it shows you what they're proposing the zoning standards for the property to be based on what they would like to construct. So this will create the land use controls for that site, or the zoning ordinance for that site, regardless of who wants to build and when they do it. This will become the zoning ordinance for the property. If it's introduced tonight on first reading, and then this ordinance also includes a referral to the planning board, just like you would do with any zoning ordinance. The planning board will then review this plan to see if what they propose to do and these zoning standards that they propose are substantially consistent with the master plan. After they review that, they'll come back to you with their recommendation as to whether it's substantially, their finding, whether it's substantially consistent with the master plan. And on second reading, you will decide whether this should be adopted as the zoning ordinance for that site. If you have any questions, we can send this to you in color and larger. I think some of you have seen various versions of this. The zoning chart does, just for your information, tell you what the current zoning as the 34th Street Gateway would require there, and to what extent this proposal departs from that. But if you, and it does depart from that zoning in a number of respects. For instance, on that corner, you would be required to have commercial on the first floor. Take a look at the site. Would you prefer to have that, or does it make sense to change the zoning to what is proposed here? That's what you're going to be asked to consider. If you need more information, or if you want to see blown-up plans, just let me know. I'll send them to you electronically so you can see them. They are all on display or on file with the clerk's office, so any member of the public can go down and take a look at what's proposed. This will come back to you again after the planning board's reviewed it, and then you'll consider on second reading and adoption.
Thank you. Thank you, Dottie. City Council, Jody?
I got all my questions answered.
Okay. Keith?
Yeah, so I've got some calls on this, and all I can say is, you know, I got involved in this property in 2006. This is how long this has been going on, with various owners, various condo groups, and that type of thing. And, you know, when I looked at this in its sum total, and obviously there's things that people can find wrong with it and that type of thing, but the overall reason why we should move forward is because it's really the first time in all that time, which is, you know, basically going to be 20 years, that something came along that could be done. Doesn't match what everybody wants, I understand that, but at the same time, it does match with somebody being able to get this done. I mean, obviously, you have to make a profit when you do something. I think this was well thought out for this corner. I believe in it. And I just want to say this about the developers. These guys were really serious, and when you see the drawings and the photos about matching our shore theme. In fact, we were just at a ribbon cutting downtown and Curry Design, and the thing that everybody talked about there was how you match the beach look. If you don't know what a beach look is, and I didn't when I moved here, somebody's got to tell you. And so when they first gave us drawings, they would have been great in Philadelphia, and their buildings were beautiful and they were historic looking, but it's the beach. They took this so serious that they vacationed down here with their families, they rode around, they looked at stuff, and when I had suggestions on how it should look, before I ever said anything, and they showed us, as every one of my suggestions was already there. I don't have ESP, neither do they, but you know, they caught the essence of what this is. It's a prolific corner in our town that deserves the best. And I believe this is the best solution, you know, bar none. They were easy to work with. They answered all our questions. They never got frustrated. They didn't talk down to us. They didn't try to push something on us. They had the art of listening. I'll tell you, we could all do better at that. They had the art of listening. And I really appreciated it. And I also appreciate the fact that, you know, and this is going to sound strange, but it's true. In our market, everything's so expensive here that their price points are extremely reasonable. Now, extremely reasonable for a two-bedroom, guess what that is? About $750,000. That's just the fact of the matter. So they're not trying to put these huge units in there that people are going to have to spend $1.5 million per unit. They could have done something like that. did less units, more money. I gotta compliment these guys, because unfortunately, in Ocean City, whether you like it or not, 750 is about what a starter condo costs. They're right in that number, and they knew that they had to be in that number, and they sought to get in that number. So, for all those reasons, I do want to see this move forward. I did get a lot of calls on it. Once I really, and a lot of people had a lot of opinions, I really appreciated it, but once we really talked it through, most people said, yeah, I kind of get it now. And the other thing that Mr. Crowley brings up all the time, so I'll steal his thunder because it's really important, is a lot of people are just regular, everyday people that own in there, and they're upside down. So we had to weigh that into the decision. Mr. Crowley knows a couple people that live there, or their kids have bought there, and the anguish of this. So it's time to put a 20-year nightmare to bed and move forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Keith, appreciate it. Sean?
Yeah, so like you said, I like the fact that we're addressing something that's been taking a long time, over 20 years to address. It's, the developers so far have been pleasant to work with, open-minded, and to echo what Keith also said about the tenants or the people that are currently on there right now, imagine paying a mortgage for something you're not allowed to live in because it's condemned. So I think the city's stepping in the right direction, and I look forward to working with the developer further.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, just to piggyback off them, the developers were great. They were very informative and took our questions. And also, I'm glad that we can finally move forward in this and help the people that are hurting for this and paying mortgages for not living. So I'm definitely for this.
All right, Tony, Pete?
That makes sense. Let's go.
All right, I won't, I won't say what everyone's already said, but this makes a lot of sense, and this developer has worked with us from the beginning of the process, has been very responsive, and does want to do what's best for Ocean City in regards to this property. So with that being said, I'll be supporting this project as well.
And just remind Dave Winslow, Fourth Ward's going to have
Yeah,
a
yep,
board
thank you,
meeting.
yep. So Dave's going to have a ward meeting, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, right?
Black Friday.
What's the date on that?
29th,
29th,
yeah.
at 10 a.m. At the
No, it's his library.
At the library. So,
The fun place, the fun place,
What's that?
the fun place.
yep. So yeah, Dave will have that.
Wear your band, you're not getting it.
He'll have all the drawings and some of the stuff that Dottie referred to. So if you want to come out and see that, it'll be a good opportunity to kind of really get your hands on it. And the developers will be there as well, along with, I'm sure Jay will be there and Dave to answer any of your questions and kind of move forward before we get to that second reading, which makes it official. So with that being said, can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2515 on first reading and introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Just a
Mr.
real quick
Barnes?
question on that, Dottie. I'm sorry, or should I vote first?
Dottie?
The 45-day period that the planning board has, historically, has it taken 45 days for this type of, I mean, this is kind of a different project, but
No, typically, we'll get this to Randy Schul right away. He'll get a report to the planning board for their first December meeting. So I would expect this to come back to you at our first December meeting.
Great.
I'm sorry.
All right, Melissa, back to you.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Levchuk?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes. Second reading and public hearing will be held on Thursday, January 8th at 6 p.m. and will be published according to law. With that, we'll move into consent agenda. All resolutions listed on consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. If the mayor or any councilperson wishes a particular resolution to be considered separately, it will be removed from the consent agenda. Does anyone have anything to be removed from the consent agenda?
Nope.
Okay, good. All right, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Levchuk?
Yeah.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes. Pending business, Jody?
Old business?
Pending. That one we'll get to new. All
Could also be old.
right, Keith, pending?
Another quick one.
There's nothing quick about it.
You've used up all your
Oh
time.
my gosh, this is why it's great to be retired.
Yeah, I recommend retirement. You have a lot of time on your hands.
Is this everybody or just us?
Everybody gets some.
It's Christmas.
This is our fun time here. We're having fun. Everybody gets.
You got a wristband.
Okay, this is real quick. So again, I was looking over the master plan from last time, and I just wanted to, if I circled E, which says, I took some criticism for this when some stores were empty, and I said I wanted to do something about at least making the window look nice and inviting, and actually, that was a recommendation. So I'm not off, again, on this, I'm not too far off. And basically, recommendation says, encourage community arts displays to counter voids created by vacant storefronts. I'm pleased to announce that we don't have hardly any. But this is something that Mrs. McCrossin and I did discuss, and I'm just gonna bring some stuff forward, not necessarily public, but I'm gonna give some stuff to Mrs. McCrossin to see if we can get this written up. I mean, when I'm looking at this master plan, and these recommendations are made, it says incomplete. We're all at fault for that, and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, these are things I talked about. I didn't realize they were in the master plan until it was pointed out to me. So I just want to let people know that some of the stuff that we're looking at, a lot of other people thought about it, recommended it. I'm not sitting by it myself. It's certainly not my idea. It's a lot of people's ideas, and I think in honor of the people that put the master plan together, we should make as much effort as we can to fulfill some of the requests that they have, especially something like this. It just makes sense because, when the store's empty, you can make the fun of it look fun. And for the most part, when stores are empty, we actually have a shortage of stores right now. When they're empty, that just means there's construction going on. And I think it's a great way to put something up that basically says, hey, excitement, new business coming, any kind of information, just to make it look nice. So people don't say, oh my God, there's 6 vacant stores, 7. I went through this all winter, and now we're just down to one that's for sale and one that in my block, and one that guy just won't do anything. But some of these other stores, and the mayor mentioned it today, and a lot of people mentioned it at this, and Michelle did too, at this ribbon cutting, the level of stores are coming up. It's the place to be, and I just think this will make it just a little bit more professional as we wait while people are working inside.
Thank you, Keith. Pending, Sean?
Nothing pending.
Tony?
Nothing pending.
Pete? I'm good. New business, Jody.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about something here with transparency has always been a huge thing for me at this table. And as long as God and I guess my family allows me to be at this table, I'll always do it with full transparency. So I want to address, I guess, fellow council, administration, and the public about something that's really been on my mind really hard for the past year and a half. And that's the effect of, I'm sorry, Mayor, but the effect of the closing of Wonderland, okay? And knowing it was going to close, the day that it closed, and the year that's gone by since it's been closed and what's happened. So everything I'm going to talk about here tonight is I'm going to tell you it's mainly my opinion, but it's my opinion formulated from after more than a year of really listening to every member of the public, business owners, okay, associations in this town. It's weighed heavily on me. It's where I make my living too. I care deeply about the boardwalk, from all the way from 6th Street to 14th Street, every business in between. A lot of them are my friends and my family members up there. It's pretty much all I know. It's where I was raised. So I have a lot of expertise in this field. And what I never wanted to do was ever come to the city council table with any sort of conflict of interest when it came to the boardwalk or my businesses or a business that's unfortunately no longer there right now. And unfortunately, I think we've all come to realize is never coming back. All right? And that's a reality. And that's a reality we have to face. Everybody, every business on that boardwalk has to face it. And we're all left with, well, okay, if not that, well, then what? Okay? So we have an owner of that property now who has some ideas for that property that we don't all agree with, including myself. Okay? There's some things I do agree with, but not all of it. All right? And I've listened to this panel, I've listened to the residents, visitors, everybody in this town. I just, for probably about as long as I could probably take now before I'm compelled to let out where I think we should be with this, with the utmost transparency and honesty. And on August 21st, we were asked to vote on whether or not City Council should send that property to be an area in need of rehabilitation or redevelopment. Sorry if I say the wrong words, they're both sort of the same to me at this point. as to be an area in need of redevelopment. And we voted 6-1 no on that. For each of us had a multitude of reasons as to why we were doing that, okay? And I respect every person's reason up here, including the person who's was a yes and supported it. Since then, I reached out to Council President Crowley, who, by the way, has done a fantastic job since he's taken over as president. But I reached out to him about a week or 2 weeks or so, maybe after that meeting, explaining to him and the rest of the council, as well as the administration, how important it is that we put together a committee that takes a look at the boardwalk in general. That I'm not in a position to support a project over there in this sort of way until we've addressed the fairness of the other properties on the boardwalk, where maybe they need some zoning relief as well, if we want to see their businesses continue for generations, all right? So he acted quickly. He used his council president power, or whatever you want to call it, to put together, I think, a phenomenal subcommittee of 9 people that are all Ocean City residents. Every one of us are fully vested into this community in different ways and offer different expertise. And we've met regularly for the past 5-6 weeks, month and a half or so. Got to know each other, got to know what we're gonna bring to the committee. We've set some committee goals, all right? We have a spokesperson. We have a, Councilman Winslow, not here tonight, is the head of that committee. He's the chair. So I don't want to speak at all tonight for that committee or what we've been doing in that committee. That's not my place right now. But it does help formulate my opinion of where I am at on this matter, okay? And I got to tell you, where I'm at on this matter is, and this is, again, after a lot of consideration and a lot of thinking about this and where are we going, is I think we need to discuss putting this back to City Council to determine whether or not this should be a property in need of rehabilitation or redevelopment. I think it's important. I think we've reached a benchmark here where, you know, I got a lot of reasons for this. Let's start with, I don't think anybody in this room or anybody in the city wants to see a property sit in the condition that it's in, especially I'm going to call it a 300 by 300 size property. It's the biggest property on that boardwalk. I don't think anybody wants to see it sit like that anymore. I don't. I know the businesses that surround it, a couple of them have gone out of business, unfortunately. I don't want to say the names, but a few businesses have gone out of business this summer in that block as a result of that, okay? That is a harsh reality. 2 of them are good friends of mine. It's a shame, all right? Nobody wants to see, and by the way, these are options that the current owner or any future owner that he may sell the property to has at their disposal. These are real options. They could leave the property looking just like that. How fun. That'll be fantastic. They can tear it down and remove it, all right, and put up a gate. Even better, let's look at nothing. That might be great for some of the surrounding properties where they get a beach view for a hot minute, but needless to say, we'll have an open space, 300 by 300 lot on our boardwalk. Who is that attracting? Nobody, okay? The developer tomorrow, or excuse me, the property owner tomorrow can go subdivide that property. You know what he has to do to subdivide it? Just go find a bunch of boardwalk buyers. They're out there. There's people who want to own property on the boardwalk and own their own store. Absolutely. So he can subdivide the property, according to our on-boardwalk zoning right now, into 30-foot wide lots all the way down the 300 feet until he gets to the corner, which that one would have to be 40 feet, all right? And then he'd have a lot of space in the back where maybe he keeps it as parking, or maybe he goes to our zoning boards over the next year or year after or in 10 years or who knows when, and tries to get relief to build housing back there, probably triplexes, all right? Is that what we want? Is that what Ocean City wants? Okay? Because I can tell you what we all want is amusements. We all want Wonderland. We all want Gillian's. We all want something like that there. But I got news for you. I just got back from my 26th visit to the IAPA trade show. It's the world's largest expo, International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. It's still going on right now in Orlando, okay? I sit on the executive committee board for the New Jersey Amusement Association for many years now. I'm the vice president. I know all the operators of amusement parks in New Jersey and in the tri-state area. I know them pretty well. 0 of them have approached me and said, you know, Jody, I would really love to run amusements in place of Gillian's over there. What's a pathway for me to be able to do that? Nobody's done that. As a matter of fact, the opposite has happened. Anybody who's going to run an amusement facility like that, where you have a 90-day, 100-day working period of revenue, is not interested in putting, and I'm not speaking for anybody in particular, okay? I don't want to quote anybody here. I'm just telling you what I hear. My credentials are there, all right? Jody, I wouldn't do it for free land there, set up rides, okay? It's not happening, guys. It's not going to happen. So what are we to do? To me, it's an easy algebra equation. X equals, take this property and give it to our planning board of professionals, and let's get their advice on it. All right. In the meantime, assuming they do, like what we did here at 34th Street, agree that that's the case, City Council, as well as our excellent committee that we've put together, will hold all the cards to figure out how we're going to work with either the current owner developer or whoever maybe he sells it to as to what the future looks like there. But what we're doing right now is just, I don't know what you call it, kicking the can down the road, stalling, making it harder on every business that surrounds that area. I don't know what you call it. And I know what I'm doing right now, and what I'm saying is going to piss off a lot of people that believed in me and thought that I was really doing the right thing on August 21st when I said no and I gave my reasoning. And I understand that, and I don't regret saying no on August 21st. I wasn't ready. I needed to go through a few months of meeting with constituents more, listening to the public more, forming a committee, and I'd be lying if I went another day trying to say, nope, we're not ready yet. I think we're ready. I think City Council needs to step up. We need to be smart about this. We need to create a relationship with what is going to be the future of that property. We need to create a relationship with what that looks like while we all have had a year to swallow and rip off the Band-Aid. And I guess if I got to take a bullet from some angry residents in town that are going to be at me, it is what it is. Because I have people upset with me because I'm a no. I have people upset with me because I'm a yes. At this point, it just doesn't matter. I'm going to have people agitated with me one way or the other. So I'm at the point where I just have to, and I could go on talking about this. I mean, I sat here on my phone and I put together a list of 20 reasons as to why. And then I tried to put together the same list of 20 reasons of why it's probably not time, why we need to keep on stalling, why should we do nothing, why should we hold the line. I couldn't come up with them. So here I am, that's it, and I'll be happy to recite out the 20 reasons, so that everybody understands. But I'm not trying to make a vote on that right now either. Let me just stop for a second. I'm not trying to bring this to the table to vote on this, doing this right now. I'm just expressing my opinion on this under new business that I would like to see brought forward at the next City Council meeting. I'm given plenty of time, plenty of notice to have 2 other City Council people to maybe join me on putting it on the agenda for us to vote on it again, because I know it takes 3 of us. And I'm giving plenty of notice to the crowd. I'm doing it as out there as I possibly know how to do it. I didn't talk to, I know this guy's mad at me right now. I spoke to nobody about this before this meeting other than Councilman Crowley, and I also called our city solicitor to let her know that I was going to be talking about redevelopment tonight. I didn't really give her much insight, but I wanted to let her make sure she was here in case I had some questions for her about some of the things that I was going to recite. But I just do want to bring a couple points forward also, just to sort of back up what I'm saying here. Okay, I mentioned that no amusement operators have brought any plan of interest forward. They've actually gone the opposite way. Okay. Any alternate ideas that have been proposed, and there's been quite a few, as nice as they are and as clever of ideas that I've seen built in it, that's great. That's stuff we can work with. But we need to get up the first step in this staircase here before we could even start discussing what we're going to do. Like, if we can't get that property into a rehabilitation or redevelopment phase, I don't know what any developer is going to do with that property going forward. It's nothing. I don't see it there. Okay, And alternate ideas that we've heard, by the way, I should add, all require the same sort of zoning attention that the current owner has. So that's that, okay? I've asked for fairness to the boardwalk in its entirety. I think we're really working on that. We formed this committee. I can't say enough good things about it. It's a good direction we're going in, and I believe in that committee and the work that we're gonna get out of it. Okay, I don't need that to happen first, which may take us a year or more. We've talked about the master plan tonight. We've talked about the master plan re-examination report from January 10th. Keith, you brought up two things in there. Well, one thing that they had in there on page 45 talks about the local redevelopment and housing law that was formed in 1992, which gives eight statutory criteria where only one needs to qualify from the LRHL in order for a governing body to consider a property to be in need of rehabilitation or redevelopment. Okay, there's 8 of them here. And I've gone to 600 Boardwalk a couple times. I've looked there. I've looked at their engineering reports from the current owner there. And I got to tell you, the first three criteria, and again, you only need one, in my opinion, this is my opinion, meet the requirements of that, right? I don't need to read all 8 of those, but pardon me, give me just a moment here. I'm going to move on to my next thing.
I had page 45, I didn't break.
All right. Okay. All right. The entire business community of Ocean City, I mean, is made up of super successful people. I mean, our boardwalk, our downtown offices, okay? We have a really great boardwalk merchants association, a downtown merchants association. We have a tourism committee. All of these, and of course our Chamber of Commerce, all of these entities have put themselves on the line of coming forward and explaining how important a project of some sort, redevelopment, rehabilitation will be, okay, at 600 Boardwalk and how it affects their business. We've also taken a look at how time could be of the essence, okay? I'm seeing retail stores closing at that end of the boardwalk. It's a hardship for the surrounding business community there. It results in closed stores, which are lost jobs, a negative impact, and it kills our reputation of visitors wanting to come to the boardwalk when that happens. I haven't seen a closed store in the summer on Ocean City Boardwalk in probably 25 years. I hope I don't see it this summer, but as of right now, there's a couple vacant stores at that north end. All right. Plus, the whole look of it, it just looks horrible. We have a developer. Assuming he does what he wants to do, and we're all good with it, you're talking about a $150 million investment. You know what that looks like on our municipal budget bottom line? It's great. Many of the concerns that residents have shared with me over the last year and a half, I've really considered those. I've considered them hard. And most of those concerns have been addressed, I feel like. I feel that me speaking to people over the last year and a half with their concerns, never with me trying to talk somebody into it being a good idea, just me giving them the facts while I'm talking to them on the phone, has converted more people into being, you know what, Jody, I think it's not such a bad idea. That's happened a lot without me trying. I was never trying to do that. It just, facts presented themselves, people changed their minds. Okay? What most of the concerned residents who were firm no's, say a year ago, 6 months ago, the way they're talking to me now, saying, okay, Jody, well, you guys voted down the hotel. Well, since that's not going to happen, now what? And you know what? I got a blank stare. I don't know what to tell them. We're working on it. We're working on it. Well, we are. What are we working on now? What are we really working towards? What's really coming out of it for 600 Boardwalk? I know it's coming out of it for the whole Boardwalk, but what's coming out of it for 600 Boardwalk? We can't go back and change what happened in the past there. And I'm just going to end it with this. I love Ocean City just as much as the next guy does, as anybody. And I make my living here, and this is my life. And I'm not doing this because I have to do this or because I'm bored. I took on this role because I love the city so much, and I always knew there's gonna be some hard decisions down the road that, thank God there's gonna be somebody like myself on board to be able to help navigate those decisions, okay? And this is one of them. And this isn't easy, all right? This is not easy. No matter what side of this you're on, it's not easy. But, man, I would just not be being honest if I continued down the I don't know, let's be patient road. Because I know what that is. You go this way, it's a dead end. There's nothing going on that way if we stay the course we are. We take a turn, we bring it back to city council, and we have further discussion on this, okay, and we move forward with something. You know, it's the same things apply, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Dottie, you know, that everything you said about 34th Street with redevelopment there, if they were selling property or this or what have you, we hold the cards here. We're designing this thing. So,
That's right, so if city council were to designate the area needing rehabilitation, that does not approve any particular project. It could end up being something completely different from the proposals you have heard from date to date. It just puts you in a position to negotiate with someone who would like to be the designated developer as to what the zoning standards, including use, would be. So if you designate an area in need of either rehabilitation or redevelopment, you're not approving any particular configuration or use. It just gives you the ability to start talking about what the best thing for Ocean City would be.
yeah. So I would like to see this wind up on the agenda for our next meeting, Mr. President. And, you know, I did this spiel tonight because I just didn't want it to wind up on the agenda and the public sees it 2 days before the meeting, everybody's in chaos, and nobody knows how or why it got on there. If it does wind up on there, it's because I brought it up here this evening, so.
Okay, thank you, Jody.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Second.
Keith? Keith?
Nice job.
Even if I had something and it was life or death, I think I would just go to Shore Memorial. So, no, I don't have it.
All right, thanks, Keith. Sean?
Nothing to add.
Tony?
Jody, great job. And I couldn't agree more. You know, when I said no, it was more because of my fear of hotels going up and down the boardwalk. But again, after a month and a half of getting more facts and information, you know, it's all about numbers. And the biggest thing that I think we weren't listening to is, we have the control. We have the control. It doesn't mean what he wants gets up there. We control that. So I don't think there's any harm in bringing it back to the zoning board for just that fact. Because I agree with Jody. We're just gonna keep going forward, and nothing's getting done. These boardwalk people, it's important they make their livelihoods. The downtown, everybody that's in there is for it. So, I agree with Jody that we should bring it back to the table.
Okay, Peter?
Nope.
All right, and I have nothing. With that, we will go out to our public citizen comment. We'll start with this side of the...
Councilman, I'm sorry, before you do that, the ordinance that's being referred to the planning board with respect to the sea spray, the announcement was January 8th. And I'm sorry, I looked at I thought you were bringing it back on December 5th. We're going to have to bring it back at the second meeting in December. So we'll have to work that out with the planning board, see if they can hold a special meeting, because that would be 49 days if we go to January 8th. We need to bring it back before you within 45. So we'll have it back. Your announcement, if you would, should indicate that. Melissa, what's that second meeting? I
December
wrote down.
18th.
That it'll be back before you for December 18th.
So ordinance
Very special day.
2515 will be,
14 and 15.
second reading will be on December 14th at
December
6
14th.
PM. 18th, I'm sorry.
18th.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right. Is that your birthday?
Of course, it's a special thing.
All right, we'll get a proclamation together for you. All right.
Can we get
Citizen-
bracelets?
Citizen comment. Nelson, you want to go first?
Greetings, folks. Nelson, Dice Common Nelson, Central Avenue. in the Navy, they have a thing called BLUF, B-L-U-F, bottom line up front. Love it. Makes me communicate better. I ask people, please give me the bottom line up front before I hear everything you have to say. I'll try to do that. The attorneys are anti-American, in my opinion, after spending almost 2 years in jail, courtesy of this local police department. I will tell you, the Holy Spirit said, William Campbell is my brethren. He wouldn't be chief of police if I didn't go to St. Peter's dressed the way I wanted, and I was arrested, charged falsely with a forged warrant, which I am proceeding with, hopefully. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 11, I am hosting a public forum for people who wish to learn about the Declaration of Independence and the other founding documents, which still are the organic law. Not what a judge says, necessarily. I have some free, so one of the people who has attended brought some of his gathering of Constitution's Declaration of Independence. They're free for the taking, tomorrow 10 to 11. Now, in the Constitution, it says in Article 6 that judges, Article 6, this Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof shall be the supreme law of the land. And judges in every state shall be bound by the Constitution. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. That means, guess what? Judge Russell, Judge Freed are lying. They're not judges, and I can prove it. The oath they take is not the oath Chief Campbell takes. Lieutenant, he was testifying that I trespassed on my church's property. I forget his name, forgive me. Nice guy, I like him. He was mortified because I tried to put the 4 organic laws of this country into evidence. You know what Judge Howard Freed said? Irrelevant. How do you like that? The Constitution's irrelevant in a municipal court. Then what am I doing there? How have I gotten there? I will tell you how I got there. And it's meant to, by the way, PBS is running the American Revolution. My forefathers almost had their heads shot off by cannonballs. I was like, man, what were they willing to do for me? Watch it, it's unbelievable. It'll give you new respect. So, they're administrators, they're not judges. All the way up to the justice of this Supreme Court in New Jersey, they are administrators, not judges. So, the next time I get taken to a municipal court when I haven't harmed anyone or hurt their property, I'll continue. The executive branch is responsible. It turns out the prosecutor, I always thought this whole time they were part of the executive branch. No, they belong to the private membership association of the attorneys, who are bar members, okay? Why can this council railroad anything they want up? I'm not saying you would, but up on the boardwalk? Because we're under the gold fringe flag. Downstairs, there's a gold fringe flag which gives this mayor the federal authority. Didn't used to be that way. In the state of, when there's a difference between the state of New Jersey and New Jersey State. I am on New Jersey State. These people run the state of New Jersey. There's 2 things, common law and statutory law. The state of New Jersey outlawed common law crimes. That's why they can take me by the neck and put me in jail in Anacorra for 2 years. Illegally, unlawfully. But they do it because they can, because the attorneys have discretion. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. All right, anyone else? Citizen comment? Didn't you guys want to come up? Go ahead.
Council,
Just,
Mayor.
just your name,
Nelson.
just name and address for the record,
Robert
please.
Levins on the Nor'easter Condominium Association.
John DeCourcy, Sunset Harbor Condo Association.
So I've spoken to, and I'm representing the association, as John is. I've spoken to my councilman, I've spoken to the chief of police, and I've actually spoken to the patrol officer who patrols the marina right by the bridge. So the Nor'easter building, you're coming into the city, is the blue condominium building. We spent several $1 million right next to Snug Harbor. So that entire zone is a no-wake zone. Not just where that no-wake buoy is, but it's on both sides. So, like I said, my councilman's helped me, the chief of police helped me. I finally got to speak to the patrol officer who's out there and had some conversation. I said, look, this is a major, major issue. One, we spent millions of dollars repairing our building and repairing our marina, and the wake is causing more damage to our marina than a nor'easter. But more importantly, the officer said to me, he said, Robert, and I had spoken to him several times, I didn't know it was him, but I'd be out on the docks and wave to him. He said, Robert, we have one patrol, that's it, we're one crew. Our number one priority is safety. I can't argue with safety. Well, in the last 10 years, I was knocked off our docks and had meniscus knee surgery from wake. My wife, I have pictures of her where she got knocked off a jetport and had severe damage to her shoulder. And 2 years ago, we had a 10-year-old child, because of wake, get knocked into the bed. Fortunately, there were people there and we were able to rescue her. This is a very, very serious issue. And if we don't do something, we're all going to be sitting here one day and we're going to say, someone died, someone was injured. It's different, and I'm not blaming the police. The police can only do so much, and they can't be there. We've tried to put up cameras. We have people cussing at us. We have people giving us the finger as they're just plowing by. They don't even know that the no wake is on both sides of the buoy. They think, well, we're a foot away from that. Like I said, it's on both sides because of the marshland. And if someone's injured because of this, then we're all going to sit here and say, why didn't we do anything? It's easy for me to say we need to do something. Here's a simple solution. I said it to the patrol officer. Let's get another crew. Let's have them there. How are we going to pay for that? I'm telling you, if you put a vessel between the Sunset Harbor condominiums and ours, and you sit there, you'll be ticketing people all day long. And because they won't stop, or when the police are sitting out there, they see them, they slow down for those 5 minutes that the police are there. And again, they can't be. This is nothing negative against the police. It's actually the opposite. My councilman was very helpful, the chief of police was very helpful, and especially that patrol officer. He even said he'll come speak to the association about how we combat this. The truth is we can't combat it. We can take our video, we can blow our whistles, we can have the people cussing at us, which they do. When you tell the people, slow down, they give you the finger, they cuss at you, and you have children out on the, out on the docks. So it's a serious, again, we can handle the maintenance, but we can't handle someone's life, It's no different than someone speeding by the school. I'd actually say this is actually more dangerous, because speeding by the school, they're on school property. We have children out on a marina with water 30 feet off. Our marina's floating and bouncing up and down, and we have people just plowing by. So I'm just asking if you guys can take the matter, and I know you'll take it seriously, but we can actually try to do something. Right now, there's nothing the police can do. If the officer gets a call for safety or a vessel, he's going to leave. It's just that simple. How can I expect him to be in two places at the same time? And if you want video, we'll take video. I can provide you all the evidence you guys need, but it's a serious problem. And everyone knows it. Like I said, the officer I spoke to, he's like, we know it. The chief of police has brought it to their attention, and thank you, and asked them to spend more time there. But he's like, we just can't sit here. We're one vessel, and safety's priority. So
All right, thank you.
And I would just add that, for the last, I've owned at Sunset Harbor for the last 5 years, and it's probably 60% of the boats just blow right through there. They don't, if there's police presence, like Robert said, all of a sudden they slow down. But right at that bridge, heading north, they're fine going by the fuel 10th Street Wharf. Yes. But once they hit that bridge, they gun it. And they don't even know that that whole channel right there is, it's no wake the whole way across. And the docks are rocking all over the place all the time. It's just a matter of time. And tickets would probably pay for the cost of the boat over, not a long period of time. And so it's really something that's gone on for too long.
Okay. We'll definitely,
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm in Favorite Harbor, and I've got many fingers thrown at me, and we've done a lot of yelling and screaming and waving, and I agree with you guys. Most of them don't even know it's in the wake zone. That's the problem. They just go through it.
Or they think they're on the outside when they see the barrel
Yeah, they have
out
no
there
idea.
200 feet, but it's with the marsh right over there.
It's
Not to
horrendous.
mention-
Thanks so much for coming.
All right, anyone else, public, Susan? Keith, they're probably upset with you for different reasons.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of other reasons, yeah. Yeah.
Susan Crackerbanner, 156 Asbury Avenue. Good evening. Mr. Crowley and members of council who have supported the formation of the Boardwalk Subcommittee, thank you for staying the course amid recurrent requests for a revote. Your perseverance shows your commitment to planning for the future of a vibrant and family-friendly boardwalk. We have heard again tonight a request for a revote on the designation of 601 Boardwalk as an area in need of rehabilitation that could result in the construction of a hotel. The rationale provided tonight and in the past is that business is down, and as a result, tenants could be lost. But this is a misleading argument. Construction of a hotel does not happen overnight. Even with a rehabilitation designation, there is negotiation between the owner and the city as to what will be built. Then there can be delays due to potential litigation, as well as construction, weather, and material delays. At best, you're probably looking at a 3 year or better, at 3 years or better before an operational hotel exists. The effect that will have on businesses at the north end of the boardwalk will be devastating. So a revote will do little to resolve the concerns currently being voiced by merchants. Please stay the course and let the subcommittee gather data to understand the present so that they can make informed recommendations for the future of the boardwalk. In the meantime, it must be a priority to develop and implement a comprehensive summer program that draws residents and visitors to the north end of the boardwalk to support local businesses and restore vitality to this end of the boardwalk. There are plenty of opportunities to do this. Activities could focus on celebrations like the Carousel turning 100 and America's 250th anniversary. Even bringing more sports tournaments to the high school stadium would bring more visitors to the boardwalk and to town. But this requires the leadership like that exhibited with the establishment of the Boardwalk Subcommittee. I respectfully ask that you take the lead and bring together local government representatives, Chamber of Commerce members, business leaders, nonprofit organizations, and residents to create opportunities that will bring energy, activity, and economic opportunity back to the north end of the boardwalk. The time to act is now in order for plans to be ready for this summer. Together we can make this happen, but it's incumbent upon your leadership and commitment to get the ball rolling. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for citizen comment? Just so you know, it has to be on a different topic than before. Okay.
It
Great.
is.
Thank you.
It is. I don't know if you all are aware,
Can you
but...
just give the name and the record?
Okay.
Sorry. so to be-
Cynthia Kahn, 44 Wesley Road, Ocean City, New Jersey.
Thank you.
I don't know if you all are aware that when the House goes for a CO, we had the party that was responsible for it, was supposed to note the file for when the inspectors went out for the new building next to us in order to get the CO. There was an issue that was flooding us. We require people to have a separate meter and to have to irrigate their yard, but do you all realize that when they go out and they do a home inspection, and even when I said it was supposed to be done and I requested that they do it, they told me, ma'am, mind your own business, go back in your house, we know how to do our job. Nobody turns on the sprinkler system to make sure that it's actually watering all of the ground that we're collecting money for, and it's actually functioning the way that it's supposed to work. It seems kind of ridiculous to me that it is a requirement when you build new housing to have an irrigation system, and it's not part of the inspection to make sure it's operational and watering all the property it's supposed to be watering. But they're not required to do that, and I can tell you they don't do it. And it just seems kind of ludicrous to me that it's an oversight, and I really don't understand why it's not being done, and I wanted to bring it to all of your attention. Have a separate meter, it's required, and nobody even makes sure that it's really where it's supposed to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. The other thing I wanted to say is, Jody, I agree with you very much. I know other people on the boardwalk, and they have the same complaint. The last few years, they've lost increasingly more money. The only thing that I would ask that you take into consideration if this comes back up is that we're only, I believe, one of 2 high schools in the country that has the distinction of being on the beach. And when I first moved here with my daughter in her first field hockey game, one of the greatest things when your establishment was open was she almost got scored on because she was fascinated watching the Ferris wheel with all the lights going around.
That would be me.
And listening to the calmness of the surf. People come down here during the summer for the battle of the football stuff, the minor soccer league things, the outdoor basketball. I think it would be a good idea if we tried to get more girls' sports other than just a couple 77 clinics or whatever for field hockey, but there's a lot of opportunity. And I would ask, when this comes up for a vote on whatever is built there, that it doesn't wind up ruining the sound and ruining the distinction that we have of having a high school on one of the only 2 on the beach. My problem with the hotel was that when they were planning on going across, all dumpsters would be back there. Who wants to play football in the summer and smell rubbish? Or go to a sporting event and smell rubbish? If they could figure it out, it would be great. There's something that's got to be done with that. But please, let's take into great consideration the distinction we have of the high school and all of the sports and all that are drawn to that end, regardless of what isn't there anymore. It's not coming back. People could have done a GoFundMe, buy it and run it themselves if that's what they wanted to do. Nobody did it. But please, let's keep the integrity of the high school and the luxury that we have for our kids that make it so special that it is on the beach. You can hear the surf. And we get a large population that comes down specifically to play football on the beach.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Caitlin, come on up.
Caitlin Quirk, 956 Asbury Avenue, downtown merchant president. Thank you, council, for allowing me to be here tonight. Thanks, Nelson. The Downtown Merchant Association met this past week, and we actually had one of our biggest showings that we've had in a while. And I just asked the group simply again, do you still want me to continue to support the redevelopment of 600 Boardwalk? And specifically, do we as a group want a hotel there at that location? And the answer was one of unity and support. I didn't have a single person speak out against it. So that's why I'm here again speaking tonight. because whether anyone wants to say it directly or not, our community is facing a fork in the road with two different futures lying ahead, right? One future keeps our business community intact in the size it is today. The other leads to contraction, a smaller boardwalk presence, and a quieter, less dynamic commercial district. I have to very respectfully disagree with Sue in the fact that even if this does take 3 years, which is probably the case, moving forward with the project sends a signal not only to our business community, but also to anyone that vacations here that we are moving forward. We're not staying stagnant. And I really want to applaud you, Jody. Thank you for your time, consideration, and changing your mind. And also, Tony, I know it's not easy to sit in those positions and have to hear all the people that you have to hear and hear all the sides. But I want to just kind of say thank you for that and for sticking with, the process of doing your due diligence, right? And I just want to leave you guys with this, changing your mind is not a sign of losing integrity. It's often a mark of gaining wisdom. Realizing you were wrong doesn't mean you lack judgment, it means you lacked knowledge. Opinions are what you think today, and growth comes from staying open to revisiting your views tomorrow. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else for public comment? George?
Learned a lot since tonight. Changes my talk a little bit, but not a lot. George Bauer, 5133 Central Avenue. I've recently experienced a big shift in council. The meetings appear to be taking on a positive approach to situations. Approximately a couple weeks ago, whatever, council pulling together created a subcommittee to address the North End boardwalk situation. I stress, pulled together. They put together a committee comprised of representatives of all affected and interested parties. In response to an earlier statement, I would like to put forward that, that not one committee member is unaware of the serious plight of the boardwalk merchants. They're all very aware of the situation and are addressing it as we speak. The approach is two-pronged, short-term and long-term, both critical to the future of our merchants and the wholesome spirit of Ocean City. This is without question the most effective, intelligent path to answering the boardwalk situation. With an intelligent mix of interest, experience, and expertise, the subcommittee will reach a very suitable recommendation. They have made a plan that time is a serious issue, but not to be used as an excuse for inadequate resolution. Subcommittee is approximately 2 weeks, 2 months old, whatever, and I've begun their meetings. It's unrealistic that their research be cast aside. How can the request be made to abandon the subcommittee and just charge full speed ahead, not knowing all the facts and considering all the factors that are involved for the benefit of all parties? Let them do their job. As I said in a previous letter to the editor, congratulations to the council for putting this team effort forward. It's very premature to declare this team effort ineffective and to skip right over it. I'm not part of the subcommittee, but I have already come up with ideas, albeit they are not fleshed out yet, and none could have any value. But I encourage everyone to jot down the ideas they get in the middle of the night. We would not hear them. Short term. I have an inexpensive, short term, simple, and very short time frame of ideas to prepare for. Let's learn from the success of city, town, and village centers throughout the world, and of course, Disneyland. We desperately need the demographic of children to drive our efforts. What draws our children? Going to an area of the boardwalk where they can see, interact, get photo ops, and be welcomed by fun, friendly costume characters. Add street performers, musicians, jugglers, light shows, laser shows, food concessions, big screen entertainment, a big checkerboard, face painting, mimes, artists, pet shows, high school bands and competitions, Ocean City Police Department, Fire Department with bike safety demos, and get a certificate. Let's create a North End mascot, big soft building blocks, a maze with different starting points based on age, radio-controlled model boat tank, coloring contests, then display their art, a big whack-a-mole game. Encourage kids to dress up. Invite the Sentinel to come take pictures and publish them for the kids and their families. That benefits everyone. We could have a year-round Santa in shorts and t-shirts for pictures and early requests. Decorate your bike, decorate your dog. One night could be pajamas, and we would accommodate a rainy day evening with a new agenda. I would also add that the existing boardwalk merchants get a free vendor stall that matches their business profile. I believe if we could put together a large or small combination of these attractions, we would have a very successful draw to the north end of the boardwalk. Again, inexpensive, very rapid implementation, and give us time to create the true value on a permanent project that will continue to support our businesses within the parameters of the true wholesome spirit of Ocean City. This was just 1 hour of thoughts. Think about what you could come up with. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Anyone else for comment? Jim?
Good evening, Council. Thanks for your commitment to the city. President Crowley made a good decision to form the subcommittee to look at the boardwalk. By doing so, he put together a process that will serve the holistic interests of our city. I'm a member of that subcommittee, and since Jody, Councilman Lovecheck, commented on it, I thought I should comment as well. Through that committee, I've gotten to know the other members, and I've become friends with them, and I think Jody Lovecheck in particular. I admire Jody. I admire his business. I admire his commitment to Ocean City. But I want to address two things that were said tonight. One, Jody's one member of that committee. You have 8 other accomplished individuals with vast business experience in city planning, land use, and people who are dedicated to Ocean City and what's best for Ocean City. Don't forget about the 8 other members of this council. The other is this notion of control. Councilman Lovecheck mentioned, that control is somehow magically given to you through the rehabilitation process. Councilman Polcini echoed that, and I've heard this several times. Let's be clear, City Council has control of this situation and has every tool to negotiate. And I just ask that you give the process that President Crowley asked 9 members of the city to commit to a chance. A month and a half is not a chance. It is haste, and it is rushing a decision that shouldn't be rushed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wes?
Good evening, everybody. Wes Kasmark, 825 Penland Place, Boardwalk President and owner of the Surf Mall. Wasn't planning on speaking tonight, so bear with me, because I am member number 2 of that committee. But since my friend Jim here spoke, I guess why not? I'll be quick. Just 2 points I'd like to make. One, Jody, thank you very much for speaking up, and Tony and Pete for backing him up. It was all, Jody is somebody who's been here his whole life. I've known him my whole life on this boardwalk. He does understand what is at stake. I think he's done his diligence. I respect you for coming out and talking tonight about this. I know that wasn't easy, and you are right. It's probably going to aggravate some people. The second point I'd like to make, with all due respect to the people who have these great ideas for the boardwalk and what we should do in the meantime, and what is best for this town and things like that. I'm not going to claim to be an expert at many things, and I would never go to someone else's profession and tell them how to do it. But when people have ideas for the boardwalk, I can assure you the best idea would be, like what Caitlin said, some excitement about what could be heading that way, or at least some kind of progress. And then when it is years away, you're right about that, and that progress would be something that would be exciting for people. All these other things that people suggest, you don't understand the boardwalk and how the tourism economy works, and it's okay to express your opinion, but it's just that, and it would be not effective on the boardwalk. Again, this is just a step. It would be a progress stopper not to hear what people have to say. Councilman Hartzell, you one time, I listened to one of your council meetings that I wasn't at, and you mentioned how whenever you make a decision, that you always get as much information as possible. You ask a lot of experts about what you should do before you do it. That is what I view this as. I would love to see you guys move forward with this and keep the ball rolling a little bit. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Wes. Anyone else for public comment? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second. Third.